Get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO.
Meshbesher and Spence gets Minnesotans. Because as one of our state's oldest law firms, we've been fighting for our fellow Minnesotans for over 60 years. We know the ins and outs of Minnesota's legal system, and to never call it a casserole. We know how to get Minnesotans full and fair settlements, and that any food can be put on a stick. Mostly, we know how Minnesotans deserve to be treated. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Meshbesher and Spence. Minnesota personal injury lawyers, Minnesotans trust.
Car wash for a showroom shine.
Get in the zone. And what about my tires?
Just spray the included Hot Shine tire coating and you're all set.
Get in the zone. The inside is not great.
No problem. The quick interior detailer in the bundle can help with that too.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We broadcast from the 651 Carpets Plus, home of the Next Day Install Studios. FM 100.3, KFXN, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Fan.
If you want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Brad, Sean, Bryant, KFAN text line. Just let us know what you say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686, standard text message, and data rates apply.
He came from somewhere back in how long ago. The sentimental fool don't see trying hard to recreate what had yet to be created.
Boy, this, before I introduce you, say it again.
Lead in, it's Michael McDonald.
You like it?
I love it.
Fire up Michael McDonald and the Dubes for somebody who has a title that no longer fits on a card. Make it loud.
Only to realize.
Holy cow. You need an 8x10 business card for this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of hockey operations and general manager for your favorite hockey team. Can I get a witness? And a raucous round of applause for Bill Guerin, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Billy G?
Not too much. Not too much.
Ready to get grilled?
Yeah, I'm ready
you know
to get
me.
grilled. I love being back at the fair. It's
No, you ain't going to get put on a grill.
I love coming to the fair.
Why?
I just like it. It's got a good feel, good vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Great food, great beer. Good people watching.
Now, I don't know how it transpires with, like, Aaron Sickman or our beloved Sicky and a general manager. Can I call you GM? I mean, the president of Hockey Ops is awesome. I'm sure there was some extra money to come along with it, which is even better. But nevertheless, GM just comes out quicker.
That's great.
That's cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're working with Sicky or whomever,
yep,
and you're set to sit down for what could be an elongated chat with somebody like me, a noteworthy Bulldog reporter. You know, like I'm with the Boston Globe or the New York Post. So you know that undoubtedly you're going to be grilled with controversial questions. Does Aaron, like, go over anticipated questions coming? Or he's just like, nah, it's PA. He'll just, chat about whatever comes up.
B.
It's B, right?
B. Yes. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't like pre.
Right.
I don't like getting questions beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It's too. I just like being authentic and giving you what I think at the time, and I try to take my time and give you answers that I think you'll care about, and that I believe in. Like, no BS. I don't want to have anything scripted. I don't like that. And tough questions are fine with me. And I'll, like I always say, like, if I can't answer you something honestly, and I'll be honest about that. And tell you I can't answer it.
But you're a tough guy, and you were the toughest of the tough ever to tough when you played. But when you get pissed off, you can be tough too. And Russo Radio pressed you on something after the season, and you got mad at him. So I don't want to put.
I didn't get mad.
I know you did. I just want to see your reaction.
I did. But
you remember the moment, right?
I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I think I'm a nice guy. I didn't get mad at him. I just. Yeah, you know what? I was tired of kind of hearing what I was hearing already.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think, and other people have questioned me about it and my answers and this and that. And I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, you know what? maybe I didn't answer it perfectly, but that's the way I was feeling at the time. I felt more than being hard on our players, I needed to step in for them, and because I believe in them, I thought they played hard. That's just the way I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I bite back too, but
you're authentic.
I try to be.
Yeah, you're authentic. You're a real guy, man. I mean, on and off the mic, and from somebody who's done this as long as I have, that's why I like interviewing on a weekly basis during the season people in hockey, in the National Hockey League. That's why I spend 40 minutes with Bob Motzko and used to do the same thing with Don Lucia or Jordan Leopold or Johnny Pohl or Bill Guerin or Dean Evison or Mike Yeo. It's the authenticity level of those in that game is different than some other games.
Yeah, you will. When you get Bob Motzko, he's the same on the air as he is off the air.
Salt of the earth.
And same with all the other guys you mentioned, and I don't know, it's just the way we are.
When you ran into Coach Motzko before you came on over here, did you thank him for the work he put into Brock Faber before you guys got him, or have you already done that?
Oh, of course.
Right.
I've already done that, but I do every time I see him.
Yeah, Faber's nice. I mean, it's like Faber. It's okay. I guess the high end example would be Cale Makar. Was it BU? He played at BU.
No, he played at UMass.
UMass, thank you. Okay, so Makar, he's at UMass. Then the next second, he's on the blue line for the Avalanche, and they're going to win the cup. So another example would be Faber, who jumped right out of the Frozen Four into it with you guys. And I'm not going to say Faber is Makar or Makar is Faber. That ain't easy, man.
No.
Especially, I mean, you were a forward. So I would guess that being a blue liner where you see it all coming at you and it's all new and you're young and everything, I mean, some people can freak out, but it didn't seem like Faber did he?
No, and some guys can just handle it, and Brock seems to be one of those guys that just there's a bit of an it factor with him, and he just it seems kind of general, but like when you say somebody just gets it,
yeah.
They just get it.
Yeah.
And
you can see it early.
It's tough to really elaborate on that. He just gets it. And, it is. It's tougher to make the NHL as a defenseman than a forward.
Right.
It is. And to be thrown into the fire like that, you just, hey, you know what? Some guys can handle that and some guys can't.
Here's what the state fair is. My man up there with the backwards cap, the blue cap. Yep. And your friend next to him.
Yep.
I mean,
off,
you guys put that foot-long Pronto pup down. That's the quickest I've ever seen anybody eat food in my life. I got respect for you. That's the state fair right there.
That is. That's awesome.
Good, man.
I'm going to be doing that.
Doesn't that look good?
Those are so good.
Right. But see, if you strap on 4,000 calories at the state fair, well, then your body fat is going to go from like 7, where it is now 7%, up to like 9. Man, you got to be concerned a little bit.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Not in one day.
Well,
one day is not going to kill you.
Yeah.
I don't work it off.
Yeah. I mean, and if you just want to sweat it off, all you have to do is look at that 14.7 that doesn't come off the book for.
Yeah, that.
I'll stop there.
That clogs your arteries.
That's a brilliant way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, that payoff thing for 2 more years, that's it. That is the buyout version of a clogged artery. That's a brilliant way to put it.
You can live with 2 arteries.
Yep, I understand that.
Yeah, you don't need all 4.
Bill Guerin is the 4th general manager in team history, and it's the old state fair, and he loves it here. Do you happen to have a favorite food, maybe at this fair? Or something?
Yeah, I love Pronto Pups.
Me too.
Yeah,
cheese curds.
Love them.
Yep, for sure.
I'll eat anything. Yeah. I like sausage, hot dogs, things like that. I love them. But I grew up going. We had this thing out east where I was from in West Springfield called the Big E. It was the Eastern States Exposition. So it was all New England, and they had these kind of like this big fairground, kind of like this livestock show and rodeo and this and that. Each state had a house. You could go in and, go to Maine and get lobster and baked potatoes, all this different stuff. So you get corn dogs there. But, I'd gone to things like this, even the Texas State Fair when we lived in Texas. But, I'd never seen a Pronto Pup.
Yeah.
And when I came here for the first time 4 years ago, I fell in love.
Wait, well, so with the Boston area, with Massachusetts, your beloved home state, Well, how do they do clam chowder on a stick? I mean, how does that work?
Very carefully.
It could be also very, very messy.
Yeah, no, they don't do it on a stick.
Okay. Do you like?
It wasn't as much on a stick stuff.
I
It's
see.
just what was native to what state.
Do you have a preference, New England or Boston clam chowder? It's New England.
It's the same thing. No, there's Manhattan.
Manhattan. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Thank you very much. Manhattan's orange, right?
Yeah,
It's like orange-ish.
Don't even bother.
It's like I don't need tomato sauce with it. Right.
Don't even bother.
Right.
My favorite place to get clam chowder in Boston is at a place in Charlestown called the Warren Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like a cup, it comes in a mug, and if you drop your spoon in it, your spoon might not hit the bottom.
Oh, wow. Because
And
all the chunks of clam?
Paul Revere used to drink there.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
So that means it has a ceiling that's like
Super. It's like right here.
Yeah. Yeah, when we went and played the Steelers in 2013 at Wembley, first time I was at Wembley, the place is Immortality. There was a restaurant, you can look it up, called the Bricklayer's Arm, but we stayed for a week at a resort, like resort's the wrong way to look at it, but it's in a little town called Watford. It's called the Grove. And it was just this big, expansive, beautiful area where, like, if you walked into the woods and went too far, you had to be careful because there were, like, bunkers from World War II and, like, little passages they would go down. I was very fascinated by all of that. Down the road, there was a 150-200-year-old restaurant called the Bricklayer's Arm. And the ceilings were like 5'10", like I'm 6'1", and it's like it was like 6'3". I had to bend down a little bit just to get to the table. And on the menu, don't cancel me, please. I only have 2 days of the fair left, and I really like to call this first Vikings game. They served pigeon, okay? But the pigeon that they served actually was shot outside of Bricklayer Arm. You couldn't get your meal until they got the pigeon.
I love it.
And then it would have shot in it when I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. I want to call this first Vikings game.
Why would somebody cancel you on that?
Because people cancel everybody for everything. I don't care about that. I ain't worried about that.
You got to eat.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a flippin' bad joke. But yeah, those low ceilings in places like that.
Hey.
You said Paul Revere.
Lower ceilings, fewer windows, probably a good bar.
Have you ever gone skiing in Montana with Aaron Sickman?
No, I never have. You know what? It's a bucket list thing of mine. I grew up skiing in the East Coast.
Ooh.
Vermont. I grew up near the Berkshire Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually members of a ski club when I was a kid.
Wow.
It was awesome.
You grew up in Vermont?
No, I grew up in Massachusetts, but it's close.
Okay.
But like we even did like Mondays ski with the school. So we like Mondays everybody pile into school buses, and they bring you to Mount Tom and drop you off for a couple hours and then bring you back. But I've never skied out west. And that's something that I really want to do.
Well, like Sickman and his family, I don't know if they do it anymore. They'll go on ski trips to Montana, and they look fantastic.
Yeah, at the most unopportune time, right in the middle of the season.
Yes.
Next thing you know, he's just gone.
Best segment Jackson's ever heard in the history of KFAN.
And the next thing you know, and by the way, he's standing right there.
I know he is. Well, he's hiding now. But see, like I asked,
I've never been on the trip. I've never been invited on the trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jackson would invite you.
Jackson invites me everywhere.
Of course he does. But so Aaron actually, I'm like, I think the ski thing, I think you have made up friends and a made up family, and you don't actually go to Montana. And so I want to see video of like you skiing. Well,
I know there's a real family.
Well,
but definitely made up friends.
I figured that up too. Yeah, I figured that out too. A lot of made up friends, and we've talked about that. Aaron, is not healthy to have made up friends. Just be honest with it. But nevertheless, so the only video I've gotten from the Sickman family with Aaron skiing, it was like the wide world of sports. It was like
the guy go the agony of defeat.
It was the agony of defeat guy. Like he's looking all smooth, the skis are up, the form is good, but then he has to land. And that was a problem for old Aaron Sickman.
I bet he's walking back up the mountain to get his ski.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you up to right now? Like with the job, what's happening right now? Approaching September, and president of hockey ops, same as general manager, or do you have like different duties?
There are different duties, but there are just things that I feel like I've been doing all along since I've been here. I think in a lot of
Double espresso, give it a try.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody brought me a double espresso. Like I need to blink more.
Well, it's super cold now.
Well, I know. It's not bad, though.
But it's good.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? For me, I'm a big believer in the hockey. The hockey side has to help the business side. The business side has to help the hockey side. Matt Maka is the president of the business side for the Minnesota Wild, and he is the greatest guy and the best guy I could ever ask for to work with. He is
love him.
Super bright, super hardworking, and a wonderful person, and very collaborative. And he's, he lets me get involved. Like if there's a season ticket holder event, or we need to speak to sponsors or things like that. Just get involved with just helping. Like he is the boss on that side. He makes things go. If there's anything I can help with on that side, I do. But it's also giving his side access to the hockey team.
Yeah.
And just making the whole thing work together and growing it together. And Craig has really allowed Matt and I to kind of come together on a lot of things, and we just really support each other, and it's been really good. So it's more than just the hockey. Yeah. And there are roles out, GMs out there that just do the hockey.
Correct.
I'd like to get involved in more.
And I'm super glad you brought that up, because I was going to praise you for that. And it's not necessarily NFL, NBA, MLB, or hockey. It's just there's so much that goes into the job of general manager, specifically during the season. And it's not common for GMs in a lot of sports to roll into suites during a game. Okay, right. So it's middle second period. My squad's lost 2 or 3. I got injuries. We got this guy complaining he ain't playing enough. And it's a meat grinder, and I'm going to roll into a suite and spend half a period with season ticket holders or advertisers. And FIGA,
100%,
Fairness and Bill Guerin Act. Part of it is, being Bill Guerin and being a shiny toy. But the other side of it is just gratitude for people sticking with you in a very competitive market.
Yes, I think that's very important. And I do that. I do.
Bro, you do it a lot.
And I think it's really
10K
important.
10K takes guys and everything.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I think it's cool.
It's hey, look at that's the reason we are allowed to play in front of a full house and pay players and pay staffs and things like that. The fans, the sponsors, suite holders, season ticket holders, single game. Everybody's important. Everybody deserves our time. And I feel that we need to take time for everybody. And hey, look, if I miss a half a period, what am I going to do anyways?
Right.
And
stew.
I can rewind the tape.
You might sit there and stew if it ain't going the right way.
Sometimes it's good that I miss a half a period. But no, I think the extra things that I can do to help the organization are like this.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times
you're obligated to do this. It's part of your deal. I've seen your deal.
Yeah, but if there's a separate president of hockey operations, he would probably be doing this.
Yeah.
Not the general manager.
And it probably would be 6 minutes with no jokes, no clam chowder, no bricklayer's arm, and have a great day. Good luck.
Yeah.
Instead, it's going to be 2.5 hours. Oh, by the way, the 1 hour sit down, the free fan forum bit with Barrero.
Yeah,
hey,
you like that? I loved it. I loved it.
You and Dan are super good on the radio together. Dan gets you, you get him. Dan ain't afraid to ask certain questions. You can handle anything. But take it from somebody who I haven't done it as long as Dan, but I've done it quite some time. It's not easy to get this relationship like you and I have, chatting on the air, almost like there's not a microphone here.
Right.
And you and Dan amplify that, and so I just thought it was great.
Thanks. Yeah, I did too, and I love the setup over at KFAN, and
pretty cool
to bring people front and center and to see the interaction, because I think you're right, Dan and I we like you and I we have Our relationship is great, and but Dan and I have it's totally different, but it works, and
I know hockey. Dan doesn't, so therefore,
totally.
I mean, Dan doesn't get neutral zone trap. We're working on the power play and the offside and stuff like that, but nevertheless,
let's stand right in front. You get a better one there.
He's a very, very smart mind.
He's great.
Oh, by the way,
he tells me that.
So you are a GM of the fans, all right? So we talked about the suites and everything. I don't want to forget this, man, the extra steps that you do, because this could go haywire if you call a season ticket holder at a bad time. But you actually have called some season ticket holders, right, and chatted with them on the phone?
Yeah, I've done a lot with season ticket holders. I have something actually next week. It's not necessarily calling people. It's meeting with them face to face in group settings and addressing certain things. I'm always available for questions and things. Hey, listen, people work hard for their money. Mm-hmm. Tickets are really expensive. If they're going to spend their hard-earned money on something, I think they should know what's going on. They should be able to ask a couple questions, just not throw it into the wind. And hey, no, they have concerns.
But Billy, it gives them an opportunity to formulate an opinion.
And you know what? I'll tell you,
that's cool.
And if that's good for you and you want to buy it, awesome. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on as much as I can, and then you can make your decision.
But what if they're
I think fans have earned that right. And they should ask questions.
Amen. But what if they're like, Bill, I mean, I've been waiting all my life. This guy sucks. And I don't understand why we play him, why he's on the team. This guy sucks. Yeah. So you got to make sure that's phones are going. You know what I'm saying?
If you think a guy sucks, that's fine. I might agree with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't want that response to get on social media. That's what I'm saying. It's such a different world, man, that you got to, if you're going to be a GM of the fan, and a fan formulates a big opinion, it's a negative opinion, you happen to agree with it. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but you don't have to phrase it like, I think he stinks. If he's struggling or if he's not a good fit, or, I don't know.
Punch the fan?
Or the best thing you can do is listen.
Yeah.
And just listen. I think that's the most important thing is you give people time. And you give them your open ears.
Lastly, for this segment, 2 segments with Bill Guerin. I mean, as long as he can stick around, we'll keep him. General manager, president of hockey ops, favorite hockey team, Minnesota Wild. I just want to get this out of the way because it's so talked out, and there's nothing you can do about it. But are you and the owner going to throw a party last day of June 2025 when that 14-7 dead cap falls off? I ain't kidding, man. Like bourbon and, excuse me, Shirley Temples and
there won't be Shirley Temples.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll be too busy working on things.
Right, but it is that I think Chris Middleton, said something. Not Chris Middleton. Jake Middleton. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Said something near the end of the year when being peppered by the media or something about depth of the room or whatever, and only so much you can do with something hovering over you. And I think it was him. I might have messed that whole thing up. But the bottom line is when that falls off, well, patience are required. Let's just put it that way. Fans, GM of the fan, coach, owner, all patience need to be required to a certain extent right now, right?
Yeah. You always have to have patience no matter what. But expectations and demand always has to be high.
Yeah.
It always has to be high. There's no I'm not waiting for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I want to win now.
Yeah.
Our players want to win now. So we're not sitting here, putting X's on the calendar like we'll play in 2 years. No.
No, I get it.
We are playing this year.
Yeah.
And we're trying to win this year. Like, we don't care.
You mean win the cup?
Yes.
Yes. Of course you're trying to win the cup. And I love the team and I love you, but it is dramatically more difficult to win the cup.
Yes, it is.
Strapped with that 15 large, 14-7. Think about it, man. You might be 2.5 years away from trading a first-round pick, dropping $10 million on somebody winning a cup. Hey.
Yeah, we might
Pretty
be.
good.
But we are playing to win the Stanley Cup, and I always say people might think I'm crazy because we have these cap hits, and I still think we can win. I think we should win. We need to expect to win. It's all about your attitude. If we're just sitting here taking it easy, can you imagine me walking in the dressing room and say, let's just take it easy for 2 years here, guys. We'll be all right. No, they would, honestly, they would kick me out.
Right. Yeah, well,
That's not, and you can't just flip a switch in 2 years and say, okay, we're ready now.
Yeah.
Let's go. No, it is every day, every year, preparing every single day to win. Win that day, win that night, and win that year.
Bill Guerin, General Manager, Minnesota Wild. How about a round of applause? He's going to stick around for another segment, talk more about the squad. Love ourselves some Billy G at the Old State Fair on KFAN.
This is Pete.
Meshbesher and Spence gets Minnesotans. Because as one of our state's oldest law firms, we've been fighting for our fellow Minnesotans for over 60 years. We know the ins and outs of Minnesota's legal system, and to never call it a casserole. We know how to get Minnesotans full and fair settlements, and that any food can be put on a stick. Mostly, we know how Minnesotans deserve to be treated. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Meshbesher and Spence. Minnesota personal injury lawyers, Minnesotans trust.
And Highway 10 eastbound still a backup. Ramsey to Greenhaven. Construction has traffic down to 1 lane. That's Traffic on the Fan. Traffic is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Beefy Crunch Burrito is back at Taco Bell thanks to rewards members who voted for it on the Taco Bell app. Filled with seasoned beef and flamin' hot Fritos, it's as crunchy and beefy as it sounds and as delicious as a vote winner should be. Get one today at participating Taco Bell locations while supplies last.
Big things taking place at Metropolitan Ford, 494 and 5 in Eden Prairie. MetropolitanFord.com, and I'm your correspondent, Paul Allen. Let's begin with a couple of offers. How about a 2023 F-150 XLT 3.9% for 66 months, plus up to $11,000 off MSRP on approved credit. Likewise, for a 2023 Bronco Sport, $1,500 bonus cash on approved credit. Now, coming up around the corner, and it's very, very significant, we have our first Bronco Showcase and Customer Appreciation event. That takes place Saturday, September 16th, beginning at 10 in the morning. They have a raffle, and they are serving food. Once again, a Bronco Showcase and Customer Appreciation event. MetropolitanFord.com to learn more. Metropolitan Ford, it's your truck superstore.
Sure, there are plenty of you out there who would probably like to lose weight. But what if you're like me and you just want to stop the bleeding and not continue to gain weight? I've lost almost 20 pounds with my friends at Continuum Weight and Wellbeing, and I've kept it off because of my weekly accountability I get with my coach, Kelly. If I didn't have that piece, I'd be heavier now than I was when I started. I love my custom meal plan that uses all my own food. Take advantage of their offer. 30% off to new clients today at sauceloss.com. Continuum Weight and Wellbeing. Go to sauceloss.com to book your free consultation.
School is back, and Dick's House of Sport has everything you need to gear up so you can show up with the widest selection of the hottest brands like Nike, Jordan, On, Carhartt, Hoka, and more. Get the lowest price with the best price guarantee. And while you're here, scale the rock wall, hit a ball in the hitting bay, or test your skills on the field or in the multi-sport cage. With more looks and more ways to play, Dick's House of Sport at Ridgedale Center is the destination to sport your style.
Dan Barrero for Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant. And Mike, I got a question for you. How do you pick your toothpaste?
I go to the toothpaste aisle, close my eyes, and pick one. They're all about the same.
Do you advise would-be accident clients to pick their lawyer the same way?
That'd be a decisive no.
Why not?
Well, frankly, there's too much at stake, and even more importantly, too much to lose. When your rights and maybe even your health are at stake, and you're in a vulnerable position after an accident, it's crucial that you have a lot more selectivity than going down the accident aisle.
Why should he or she put down the toothpaste and choose you?
Because we're experienced, because we're not going to mail in a response when you reach out to us for a free 1-hour consultation. You don't like your first toothpaste choice? You can always switch without much harm. You pick the wrong attorney, or one who doesn't know how to protect you, then you have a lot more to lose. So choose wisely and carefully.
With one phone call, the door to Bradshaw and Bryant will be opened, and they will help. Go to MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Hear Stain perform It's Been a While, Outside and more with buy one, get one tickets to see the band Dorothy and Divide the Fall at Treasure Island Resort and Casino on Saturday, September 9th.
I'm on the outside.
For every regular price Stain ticket you purchase before 10 p.m. on Monday, September 4th, you'll receive a ticket for free. Visit TICasino.com and use code FAIR to get your tickets using this limited time offer.
Hugs from patients like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 612-254-7123. That's 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
Don't miss Builders and Remodelers at the State Fair to get your biggest savings of the year. BuildersandRemodelers.com.
You're listening live to Paul Allen at 9 to noon on iHeartRadio and FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
President of Hockey Ops for the Minnesota Wild with us here at the State Fair. We're just having a funky good time into the penultimate segment of the 9 to noon radio show. Yeah, somebody gave me this. Now it's radio, so you can't see it, but it's Telly Savalas. It's Kojak.
It's a sticker.
It's a sticker that says, "I'd rather be watching Kojak."
Baby.
So, yeah, the Who Loves You, Baby.
Who Loves You, Baby.
That, yeah, see there, and that triggered a conversation.
The Discover card.
The Discover card. Is that still a thing?
He used to do the commercials for
Well, yeah, okay, and with all due respect, and I'm sure there's an account executive that in the IR family is going to hate me because they're probably working on a Discovery account.
Was it Discover or Diners Club?
Is it Discover? It's Discover and Discovery Channel. How many people in the Meshbesher and Spence lawyers fan stands have a Discover card in their wallet? My man's got a Discover card. Well, is that right next to the Blockbuster card?
I'm drawing a blank, though, on whether Telly Savalas did Discover or I think he did Diners Club International.
Yes.
It wasn't Discover. It was
Right.
Diners Club International.
Yeah. What was Diners Club International was some I think that was Tinder before Tinder was Tinder.
Diners Club International.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a thumbs up.
Okay. Who loves you, baby? Bill Guerin and yours truly, Paul Allen. We mentioned Brock Faber earlier. I just want to ask you this because he's heading into the second season, and I can't remember what your answer was when I asked this to you months ago. But like his strengths, all right? So you've explained his strengths, but he's still young. So therefore, the strengths can become stronger, and it's like with the high-enders, and that was you, there are stages where good goes to very good fast, very good goes to really, really good, and then really, really good elite. And it all happens fast. I ain't saying he's that, but nevertheless, like, what's he on the fast track with improvement that maybe we will notice next year?
Fast track of improvement. Well, you know what? Honestly, he's known for his skating and his defending. You could see that last year, with a short sample size or small sample size. And I think with young players like him, who are, he's an elite skater, elite competitor, great defensive hockey sense. So I'm not sure. I think he's got more offensive capability than he probably gives himself credit for or pushes himself to do. So he can work on that. But I think when he's already good, when a player like him is already good at something, and then you really start, it's funny, you have to learn the league. You have to figure the league out.
Right.
And we're young kids, we're fans, even though we're playing right down the road at the U, or I was at Boston College watching the Bruins play. You idolize the guys in the NHL, and sometimes you don't realize that you are already better than some of the guys that are out there.
Right.
So when you go through the league kind of once, you're like, oh my God, this guy that I've been watching for 10 years, he actually is not that good.
Yeah.
I'm way better than him.
Wow.
Or my teammate that I thought was that great, I'm better than him. I can move up. You when you start learning the league, you're like, oh, okay. Kind of light bulb goes off. I'm pretty good at this game.
If speaking of being pretty good at the game, the fan has learned the Boston Red Sox are baseball immortality. It's a Bills childhood or maybe still favorite baseball team. And so now they've lost 3 in a row. But they got this 3-team wild card bit where the Twins, when they win their division, they're going to hook the 3rd wild card. They'll get all 3 at Target Field. There's a Chip Sharon chance. There's a puncher's chance. It could be your beloved Boston Red Sox. So if the Red Sox are here in about a month for the postseason, are you going to break out your game-worn Rico Petrocelli for any one of the 3 games?
You mean my Carl Yastrzemski, number 8?
Or Freddie Lynn.
Freddie Lynn.
Yeah.
Or Dewey Evans.
Yeah. Well, Freddie Lynn was Captain Cool.
Freddie Lynn, number 19.
Yeah. I mean,
Jim Rice.
We're close to the same age.
Those are great teams.
We're close to the same age. So when we were growing up watching sports with all 3 channels we had in PBS, it's like I grew up in Washington, D.C. I ain't saying I had a crush on Jim Palmer, but when Jim Palmer pitched for the Orioles, he was doing underwear commercials. And I was like, man, this is Captain Cool right here. I want to be him.
Wait,
Fred Lynn was that guy for the Bo Sox.
Is this a Red Sox Twins connection? Was Louis Tiant a Minnesota Twin?
Wow, what do I look like? Elias Sports Bureau?
Yeah, Louis Tiant. He was great too. So to answer your question,
we'll find emotion like that.
Even if I went to the game, I would never do that. I would never.
Why?
Because
it's your favorite team.
I'm the general manager of a Minnesota sports team. I would never go and cheer against.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't go to the game because I wouldn't go and cheer against the Twins.
Right. So therefore,
I don't do that.
The game-worn Dwight Evans would have to be left in the closet.
Yeah.
How about
he had a cannon from right field?
Boom. I mean, that's what I was going to say. And you're an athlete, so you appreciate high-end athleticism in other sports. There was a time with Dwight Evans, Ellis Valentine. You remember that?
Yeah.
Cat named Ken Singleton. I used to love when I was in D.C. and I would go to Orioles games.
Rick Burleson.
Yeah.
Rich Gedman.
Yeah, for sure.
Rich Gedman was born in Worcester.
So when Bucky Dent hit that home run by the foul pole.
Effing Bucky Dent.
Yeah. Well, how old were you? I mean, did you cry?
I don't know. I didn't cry. I wasn't old enough to really care that much about it.
Really? No, you were. You had to be 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, of course you cared.
I cared, but I didn't cry.
Right. But that was a postseason defining moment for your beloved Bo Sox.
I mean, that was right in the middle of all the struggles. And my grandmother was the biggest Red Sox fan. And she loved the Sox, and she'd watch all the games. My dad told me when they would go to the beach in the summertime, they were not allowed to go to the beach until the Red Sox game was over. She'd listen to it on the radio.
Yeah.
She just loved it.
Yeah,
she was the best. So just quick Grandma Guerin story. So when I was a little kid, she used to come down to the basement and play street hockey with me, and she was my goalie. She used to put on my baseball glove and my
wow,
like the waffle we had, and I used to shoot tennis balls at her.
Well, you couldn't have been hitting them that hard. It's Grandma.
I was rifling them at her. Like, she was good. And we had a rink out in the backyard. And she would stand out on the side of the rink off the ice. And I would just skate around, and I'd pass it to her, and she'd hit it back to me. And
wow.
She was the best.
Yeah.
She was the biggest sports fan, Boston sports fan in the world. And when I got traded to the Bruins, that was one of the coolest things.
Wow.
Was going back and telling my grandmother that I was a Boston Bruin.
So when she would go watch you play, that was Boston Garden, right?
No.
That wasn't a guard. It was TD. Whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if she would go watch you play and grandbaby got into a fight, would she get pissed off at the other guy and, like, go down to the glass and bang on it?
No. She didn't care, but she loved it. She thought the other guy had it coming.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, always great hanging with you.
Yeah, I love it. Aaron, I got no idea why you don't make Bill available 9 to noon more often, but we just had a wonderful, wonderful time. So Jackson would have him on 9 to noon more frequently.
Yeah. He would have done it. He would have planned it before yesterday.
Yep. Bill Guerin, ladies and gentlemen, general manager of your Minnesota Wild. Back after this.
Thanks to Meshbesher and Spence. You're listening live to KFAN at the State Fair on The Fan.
Meshbesher and Spence gets Minnesotans. Because as one of our state's oldest law firms, we've been fighting for our fellow Minnesotans for over 60 years. We know the ins and outs of Minnesota's legal system, and to never call it a casserole. We know how to get Minnesotans full and fair settlements, and that any food can be put on a stick. Mostly, we know how Minnesotans deserve to be treated. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Meshbesher and Spence. Minnesota personal injury lawyers, Minnesotans trust.